Well, hello Flosstube. This is my first attempt at recording a video for Flosstube. I've been watching a number of my fellow Flosstubers for quite a few months now and getting a lot of enjoyment from seeing other stitchers. I too am in a family where nobody else really stitches that's extremely close to me. My mother doesn't stitch. She hates sewing, so she didn't receive that gift from her mother. However, my grandma, her mother, was an avid stitcher and bordering on a tailoress, and so I think that the gift and the love of stitching has been passed down to me. So, a little bit about me. My name is Claire. I am 54 years old and I am very happily married to my husband Rob, my second husband, and between us we are lucky enough to share 3 children. I have my eldest daughter Becky, who is 31. My stepson James is 29 this year in August, just a couple of weeks away. And then my youngest daughter Lucinda is 28 and she'll be 29, so she'll be 28 in September. Apologies. It's difficult sometimes to remember, isn't it? I think we don't feel any older and the years pass by so quickly, but yes, we're very, very fortunate and we have the 3 children. In actual fact, I must let you know that I'm expecting our first grandchild. She's due any day. She's currently 3 days overdue, and my daughter is booked in for an induction on Thursday, so hopefully very soon I'll be able to let you know that I'm the proud grandmother of a little girl, but we're just waiting to see now, make sure that everything's okay, so that's all imminent. But hopefully as you see and get to know me, then you'll realise that that change of role is going to influence some of my stitching, so hopefully you'll enjoy that journey with me. And congratulations to any grandmas out there. I've heard it's a fantastic role to have, and to all of those who are honorary grandmas or who are grandmas in waiting, then welcome to you as well. It's not going to be all about babies because I am a multidisciplinary stitcher, so I do enjoy a whole variety of projects, and I hope that that's of interest to you too. To start off with, some of the people that I've been following on Flosstube and want to say a thank you to for their inspiration for me actually having a go. Harder than it looks to video these videos, but yeah, I've really enjoyed watching Anna at Stitch Roadies and also Quilt Roadies. I find her fabulous calm manner and lovely stories enchanting. So I've really enjoyed watching you, Anna. Thank you. If ever you do get to watch any of mine, then that'll be a real plus. And I also follow her on Instagram as well. So she's a multidisciplinary stitcher as well. She loves her quilting as well as her cross stitch. I also follow Kate at The Last Homely House, and I know that she's on quite a few of your radars at the moment, and again does a variety of projects. A really lovely manner as well, and very entertaining and informative too, so thank you to you ladies. I also enjoy watching Carol Saltbox Stitcher. I watch a lady, I can't remember her name, I'm sorry, Stitching is Elementary. I enjoy watching her too, and I've also started watching another new Flosstuber as well, Crazy Cross Stitch Lady, and she showed me that she worked with printed kits first and then has moved on to cross stitch. So again, good luck with your journeys as well. I'm looking forward to seeing how you get on. Another lady I like watching is Bonnie at Log Cabin Stitcher. She does a variety of projects that do interest me. I think her style's slightly different to mine in that she likes the more primitive, but she also does a lot of wool appliqué, and that is something that I really desperately want to try, but more about that later. Let's start off with the cross stitch, because that's the true cross stitch and Flosstube route, and then I'm hoping to be able to document in the video notes where I change subject if I don't flit around too much, and hopefully then the bits you were interested in you can jump straight to if you want to. So that's the start about me in terms of family background. But the other thing that you might not realise, and you won't gain from here, is that currently I'm in a rental accommodation at the moment over in the UK. I'm a UK national, born and bred in the Derby area which is in the Midlands of the United Kingdom for those who are overseas. And I spent my first years all in the same area. I come from a big family. I'm one of 5 and my father is one of 6, so therefore there's quite a big family around us in the Derby area, and I love that. However, my husband Rob had a yearning to live over in Spain, and so 2.5 years ago we decided that the time was right for us to have a new adventure. And so a lot of my videos will be filmed over in our permanent home, which is in Spain. We're in southern Spain. We use Malaga Airport and we're on the Costa del Sol. The nearest town to us is a Spanish town called San Pedro de Alcantara, and we also are quite close to the resorts of Puerto Banús and also Marbella. So if you have a look on the map, then you'll be able to see where we are. We're equidistant between Gibraltar and Malaga Airport on that southern coast. So at the moment they've got very hot temperatures, and and I'm pretty pleased actually that we're missing most of that. It's beautiful in the autumn. There's some lovely weather there, and also if you can avoid the rains in the spring, the early part of the summer is delightful as well. So hopefully in time, as my videos get better and I start to get a little more inclusive with what I do, I'd like to include some videos of Spain really as well. So there's quite a few mercerías, which is where our haberdashers are in Spain. There's not so many fabric shops that I've found. There are some in Malaga City, but there's also a couple in Estepona, which is a town just along the coast from me, and there's a quilting shop in San Pedro. So in time I'm hoping to do some little videos of those, but also as I'm currently over in the UK at the moment and I'm here until the middle of September. Today is the 16th, 17th of August, lose track slightly. I've just had my birthday, so I've got a little bit of haul to show you. And I do hope to get to some more stitching shops as well whilst I'm over here. So I've enjoyed videos of other people's stitching, local needlework shops and stitching supply shops. So I'm hoping to include those because I think they could be quite interesting, and I think it's always really interesting to see how the different shops vary in terms of what they offer and what's available to you locally. So hopefully we'll include that. In terms of my stitching, I love cross stitch. That's something that I've done for quite a few years, although I have had a break. When Rebecca was born 30 years ago, then 30 plus years ago, then I worked on my first larger needlework project, which was cross stitch, counter cross stitch, and I've got that actually hanging up in Spain. So that's not with me at the moment, but I will go through some of my pressed work when I'm back over home again in late September. But at the moment I wanted to get started, so I thought just have a go, Claire, nothing to lose, and hopefully you'll find it enjoyable. And I'm also hoping that, being as I don't have, neither of my 2 daughters stitch much at the moment, I'm hoping that if my granddaughter, who's shortly arriving, wants to stitch, and if unfortunately I'm not around, then some of these videos will be quite inspirational to her as well, and any future grandchildren. But also it's just a nice way to document what you've been doing and what you enjoy, and hopefully the passion comes through for what we enjoy doing and inspires others to have a go. And with multidisciplinary videos, I'm hoping that might inspire you to have a go at something else as well. So in terms of cross stitching, I like cross stitching. I also like quilting, is another big passion of mine. Yeah, I think so. I do find it quite expensive though, so we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll talk more about budget and what have you later. I've also ventured a little bit into doll making as well, with the arrival of the imminent baby, and also we have other babies in the family. I also love appliqué as well, so I've done needle turn appliqué and also raw edge appliqué, so again you'll see projects with that. What else do I like? I know I like dressmaking, so I'm wearing today a t-shirt that I've made. This is a square neck t-shirt in a jersey cotton that's really comfy to wear. And this pattern is a Wanted t-shirt. Wanted is the name of the pattern design, and it's by a French designer called Vanessa Pouzet, P-O-U-Z-E-T. So if anybody's into dressmaking as well as I am, then again, hopefully I'll show you a little bit of that as we go along. But I'm hoping to encouraged myself to make a few handmade clothes by wearing them for my YouTube videos, so hopefully you'll see me in those as time goes on. Apologies if you hear any road noise. We are quite close to a road, but I'm hoping that the video is not picking that up. As I say, we're in a rental at the moment, so we're just here to be around for my daughter and for the family as to how we get on with things, so with the baby arriving. So, cross-stitch projects, what have I got on at the moment then? I've actually got two projects on, and one of them was something that I saw and I absolutely loved on a YouTube Flosstube video. I think it was the Attic, I think, over in America, and they did a tour of their shop, and out of the corner of my eye I spotted a finished project and just loved it. It's one of those things where you think, oh, that's really caught my eye. I need to see who's designed that and get the chart for that. So let me just grab that because it's on the floor. 1 second. So when I managed to stop the video and pause it at the right place and have a look through, then I found out that it was a project by Ink Circles, who do quite a lot of lovely projects, fairly intricate, but and it wasn't too big, but I just loved the colours they called out to me. So let me show you this. Hopefully you can see that. This is Ink Circles, and it's called After the Roses. So some beautiful colours in there, a lovely mandala, square mandala design, but it's basically rose hips and the foliage that goes with those. So I contacted Ink Circles. It was one that was only available at a show at first, and I didn't understand at first that some of the designers are worried about releasing their patterns on PDF. But being as I was in Spain, the import duties sometimes can be a little bit difficult and unknown quantity, so you're never quite sure how much you're going to actually be charged. So I contacted the seller and said, oh, please, is it available on PDF, so that I could get it sorted out locally. And unfortunately she didn't release it on PDF pattern until 6 months later, but I persevered. I put a note in my diary and then I went back onto the channel, onto her site later on, and lo and behold, in a few months time it was available. So I printed that off and I have got that started, and I am on Instagram as well if anybody's interested, as So Sunny Times, SEWSUNNYTIMES, and I do post pictures of progress, which will probably be a bit more regular than the floss tubes, but anyway, I'm not a constant stitcher because I flit between my projects, but I do enjoy that. The colours in this are absolutely beautiful. I've got these stored in little plastic bags at the moment. A beautiful brick red there, lovely variegated green. Apologies for any glare on these. This is a beautiful brown that's variegated as well and got some beautiful colours in that. And this one I just love, this pink peachy, dusky pink peachy colour. So I haven't got them on floss rings at the moment because I find that being in Spain as well, and I like to keep all my floss together, so I've got them all in little plastic bags at the moment. Might not be the best way of storing the colours, but it's just what works with me at the moment. And hands get quite hot and sticky in the heat. So again, I have to just be careful what I'm doing. I've taken this project out of the hoop so I can show you how far I've got with that at the moment. So it's a bit creased. I need to work out how to get these creases out so that I don't mess up the stitching. Oh, and the threads, I'm using the Call For threads, and those are all classic Colourworks. They're not colour fast, so I've got to be careful when I do press this that I don't do anything to change it. But that's my progress so far. Hopefully you can see that without too much glare behind. So I've completed down into one bottom corner, and then I'm just working my way around now around the outside and adding the details. So hopefully I've got enough room to be able to frame this, because I want to frame this and put this up into my sewing room. And I'm very lucky to have a sewing room actually over there. It's a good job because I am very, very messy when I'm creating. Threads are everywhere, but you know, that's just reminds us of our craft and what we love to do, doesn't it? I also have made a grime guard, these are called. So I've got a special stand that I sit, like a lap stand. I'll show you that in a future video. But I just made this elasticated grime guard just to be able to keep things tidy, and again the oils from your hands in a hot country. I don't know how some of your other stitches get on where it's hot where you are, but I find that having a grime guard does just sort of help. And also I made a heart needle minder out of a button and put it on a magnet. So again, little button on here is a vintage one from my husband's mum's button box, which I very happily was gifted, and I enjoy using those on my projects as well. I do like to reuse where we can do, and enjoy those. So that was that one. So that's the first one that I've got on the go, and that one is a passion. I absolutely love working on it. It's taken a back seat just recently, but I've not been able to sort that through at the moment. So let's have a look and see what else we've got. So the second one is a kit that I purchased. I saw this one online and enjoyed this one. This is my progress on this one at the moment. So I've done a quarter of that. The pattern, perhaps I should have shown you that first, sorry, is this one. And it's called Home Sweet Home. Oh, Home Sweet Heart Home, actually. Excuse me, I've just got a video call coming. Let me just decline that. And this one is by Riverdrift House Needleworks. So I don't want to show you the chart, but that's by Riverdrift Needleworks. And that one came with all of the flossers, and in this pattern, and also as you can see, we've got the details here on the different colours. On the edge here, it's actually supposed to be two different colours. They're supposed to be a grey and a green, but they look really similar to me, so I'm a little disappointed with that, and I think that's why I've sort of come to a bit of a halt on it, because I would have liked a little bit more variation there. But otherwise the colour is great, and as we see, hopefully it's going to be quite big when it's done. But I love the colours on it. I love the pinks. I'm not overly pinky, but I do sometimes get drawn to that. I love the autumn colours, and I love the mustards and the browns as well. So hopefully I'll get onto a project with that again, and I'll obviously date it, put my initials on. But yeah, really I'm pleased with that one, but that one has taken a bit of a back seat recently. So hopefully with those two I'll get onto rotation and move those around and get a little bit more done on those. As I say, I find it very mindful when I'm stitching, but I've got to be in the mood to do it, and that's why I think I have a variety of projects that I really enjoy doing. I've just been doing some quilting over here as well. As I say, first grandchild on the way. So I've got a couple of panels here. These panels were actually gifted to me by my one of my sewing buddies. More about that at another time, but Sewing Buddy Tara has sent this across to me, and so this is a panel of a red panda, and I had to just do a little bit of easy piecing just on the side here just to make that up, and I've hand quilted this one in big stitch quilting. I think you can see that just there. So just do a circular thing there, which is my preferred method. I'm not always overly neat in terms of equal stitches, and I know that's something that comes with time, so I'm not stressing about that too much at the moment. It's more about enjoying the process, and I love doing that. And then I've also used a big stitch to stitch down the binding as well on that. So I machine stitch it first pass to the right side, then flip it over to the back, and then I've big stitch quilted it and just caught down the edging on there. So really pleased with that. There's one in pink, and there's one in aqua, which I have actually machine quilted. Oh, sorry. Machine quilted on this one instead. So a little bit of hand quilting around the edge of the red panda, and then I've just done some easy matchstick quilting, I think it's called, in order to get that one finished. And then I've machine sewn the binding on, but then hand stitched it on the back. I do enjoy hand stitching, I have to say. I like the speed of a machine quilting project, but I must say I don't have endless supplies of money, endless supplies of budget. So I do find that I have to think about my projects quite carefully and just make sure that I've got ones that will last me, and so I'm not nipping out every week or so and spending £100 or so, or €100 at the quilting shop. That's just not the way that I am able to work. So I like the cross stitch because it's such a, you know, a relatively small outlay, but for something that would take quite a long time to do. So I enjoy that process, that it's going to take me a lot of time to do it. But then on other projects, you just like to just get in and get them done. And that's certainly with the dressmaking as well. You can pick those up and run with those. So those are two little baby quilts that I've just got done. I think I'm going to use them as play mats on the ground for when baby's having some playtime. I'll put a towel underneath because they're not overly thick at the moment. But then also they might be quite nice for nap time as well, for baby just to have a little bit of a covering over her. And also, you know, in time she'll perhaps drag them round and use them for her dollies as well, which will be really sweet to see, little dolly picnics and what have you. So hopefully that'll all be good. I've got a couple of examples of some dolls that I've actually been making. I came across this book, which is Making Luna Lappin. And Luna Lappin is a little felt rabbit, and she has a lovely wardrobe, very nicely designed by a lady called Sarah Peel at Cool Crafting. She's got a shop in the UK, up in the Peak District, I think it is, and she's done this book, and there's another one with other some other furry animals and friends there that you can also make, and their outfits are all included in the box as well. So these two I've picked up since I've been back in the UK, and I do like a good sewing book, I have to say. As a child we had lots of make it yourself kind of books around in a bookcase in our playroom, and I know that I used to go and pick them up and spend a lot of time looking through and thinking about the patterns and what you could possibly make from them, and really enjoyed that. And I think that's carried through into my adult life. So if you've got children around and you're wanting to encourage them, just leave one or two books around and let them have a look at them and just pick them up. It can be really interesting to see how these skills are passed on. So I had to go out making Luna Lappin. I didn't have any felt supplies in Spain when I first picked up the book, so I did have quilting cotton. And so what I did was I've actually made my Luna. Here she is. She's a little bit creased, sorry, she's been packed away and her ears have gone a little bit floppy. But I've made her in a quilting cotton. This is Linen Texture by Macawa, I think you pronounce it. And I think this one's a biscuit or a cream kind of colour. It's just off-white, it's just got a small amount of mottling in that I really like. The fabric is beautiful to sew with as well. I have made a quilt out of this, which I'll show you in future videos. That was a king size quilt, so that was a biggie. But with the leftover fabrics, well, she's got a little bit of a tilt on her headlock. Gosh, okay, sorry Luna. Had you packed in for too long, I think. You need to be out and what have you. And then I've made her dress as well, which is from a pattern in the book. I think this is a party dress. I did add little flutter sleeves on the top because I know how to do that from other children's wear that I've made in the past. And I thought that was a nice little delicate touch, a little bow on the back. Press studs to close that too. And then we've got lace trim on the front here, and then I've just mirrored that on the bottom of her skirt. She's also got little pantaloons on. And I love the details of Sarah's patterns. These have got little pin tucks in, which are really sweet. And then I put the same lace on the bottom there. Oh, she's got a thread. Threads get everywhere. And also I've just left a little hole at the back there for her little fluffy tail to poke out. So again, I mean these dolls are not intended as toys because these ones have little button eyes. You can embroider the eyes on if you want to, and also they have buttons on the arms just so that the arms have got some movement to them. So you do have to sort of bear in mind and make it clear to any recipients that they're more heirloom dolls. So I think they just need to be careful that buttons don't get sucked off or chewed off by the little children, but you'll know that anyway. But yeah, that really lovely make. I've made my Lunas quite firm, but I found this bit quite tricky on the top here, how to attach the ears in. So as in true Claire form. I had to go at making it once the way that I was supposed to, and then I thought, oh, I think I can change this, and so that's what I did. In a lot of the pattern, there's a video on YouTube as well, because I've just started uploading 1 or 2 videos of how I do things, and I hope people are finding those useful, of how an alternative way of doing this. And actually Sarah Peel, I'm in her Facebook group on Facebook, and she commented that she thought it was a useful video as well. So it has got the maker's endorsement, verbal endorsement, which is great. But yeah, these dolls are addictive. I mean, they're just so easy to do, and just rewarding. No fitting for dressmaking, no counting your stitches for cross stitch. So you know, and you can let your creativity run free as well in terms of how you embellish the dresses and what have you. We've had a new little baby boy in the family just a month or so ago, and so I made a little boy doll for him. This one will be Alfie, is the male version of the Luna. So he's got really nice, I put blue in. I know it's a bit gender specific, but I love this blue. I think it's quite vivid and quite nice. And he's got a little waistcoat and trousers, and he's got a shirt on. So I put little mock leather, no, it's actually real leather trim on his waistcoat. And then we've got a nice little zingy lining inside there, and he's got press studs underneath the buttons here. And then the shirt's quite sweet as well, actually, because again, back to the detail that Sarah Peel puts into her patterns. There's a yoke there with also the gathers at the back of the yoke, and it's just really nicely done. She does she does duffel coats, French knickers for the little girl dolls, all sorts of things. So have a look at those books. I don't think you'll be disappointed. And as I say, the Lunas are really lovely and make a great baby gift. I know that teachers in the YouTube channel have made them for as representative dolls for children's classes. So because there's a fox and there's a cat and there's a badger, so again, quite often the children's classes are called by the different animal names, so they've made a character for each class as a little mascot for the school, so they all go really well. So I also had some little bit of haul for my Luna dolls. I've bought some pom-pom trim so that I can decorate some future outfits, or there's other little things that you can make for them. There's a little sleeping bag that I might be able to use this pom-pom trim on. It's just in cream. I also saw this rick-rack and I thought that was just adorable. So again, this might find its way onto a dress for my granddaughter when she arrives, or if not, then I can use it for the Lunas. But well, I know she's going to arrive, but if I don't choose it for a dress for my granddaughter, and that's just printed with little flowers and then plain on the back, which is really sweet. I also picked up some little tatting lace as well, which I thought would be beautiful on the bottom of a dress. So again, that would do really nicely. And some fold over bias as well, so it's got a little lace trim bias, and that will just fold out and can be used for trimming projects. So the idea is that will sit on the edge of the fabric and you'll see this decorative trim. So that's all very sweet. So yes, those are for Lunas. Oh, and just one more, another little bit of ribbon that I also picked up, which is also very sweet, if you can see that. Sorry, I'm not very good at this, am I yet? Hopefully I'll get better. So a lovely, lovely little ribbon there as well that can be used for the dolls. Lots of little buttons for eyes and for closures. So again, they'll be really useful. And those were all picked up from a shop in Nottingham, in Stapleford actually, and that's a multidisciplinary craft shop. They got some felt in and some other fabrics and what have you. And I picked up some of these. I picked up some red gingham, cotton gingham, and some pink. So you need to have some pink gingham, don't you, when you've got grandchildren on the way. I also picked up this one. This one's really sweet, and that's going to be beautiful for a lovely little crisp cotton dress. That's 100% cotton. And then I picked up some plain as well. Just got plain pink as well for the back as a nice lining for something. So again, this pink trim on here would be nice. We'll pick that detail out, though a bit similar. And again, that's probably a bit busy for going on to there, but you get the idea. As we see things, we like them, don't we? And we have to just make sure we've got something in our stash. I also have also in haul. I've also picked up from the Quilters United D-Stash group, I picked up this pattern for an appliqué cushion. Well, 3 different appliqué cushions actually. And that's all raw edge appliqué. So really sweet pattern there. And this one is by Don't Look Now. It's actually a pattern from 2011, so although it's 10 years old, I still think it's current. I still think it's really pretty. So I hope to have a go at doing that one day. I did think if I could pick up a calf facet jelly roll or charm pack or layer cake, then it would give me lots and lots of really vivid colours to use and a bit of variety. So that's one thing that I've got on my shopping list, is to have a look out for that. I will not find anything like that in Spain. I know I won't. So I need to stock up whilst I'm over in the UK and put all that together. But yeah, I saw that pattern on the Quilters United Facebook page, D-Stash group, and bought that. I think it was £8, I think. So it was a second-hand pattern, but the lady who'd used it before hadn't used it at all. And I've got all of the full page appliqué layouts for that, so I can work on that. But just caught my eye and I thought it was really pretty. So again, you can see how my head gets pulled from side to side for the different projects as I see and I want to make. So another fabric that I purchased on this trip over is this lovely crepe de chine. Hopefully you can see this has got a beautiful drape to it. It's a lovely fluid fabric in these great jewel colours as well, which were really quite stunning and caught my eye straight away. And I've made a dress called the Anna dress, which is by a pattern company called By Hand London. I'll hopefully pop a picture of the video of the pattern up for you so that you can have a look at that. It's got a lovely flowy skirt, so perfect for the crepe de chine fabric, cap sleeves, it's got a slash neck, and then pleats underneath the bodice here. And also she drafts in her patterns in a B and a D cup, so if you find you're a little more generous in the bust area, then certainly give her patterns a look at, because they are really useful if they're self-drafted. You don't need to start changing your pattern to make a full bust adjustment on there. I'll post up some pictures because I wore the dress to an afternoon tea that I went to with my cousin Dawn, who's also an avid stitcher. She hand makes her clothes too, and she was wearing a handmade top that she'd made by Merchant and Mills. So we went out for afternoon tea to celebrate both of our birthdays. She's the end of July and I'm the beginning of August, so it's really sweet for us to get together and do that. And we started that tradition a couple of years ago and really enjoy it. And so we said we'll wear handmade, and I'll pop up a couple of pictures of those up. So that was one fabric I purchased. This other one as well I saw and really liked. This is 100% cotton. That's really sweet, and I'm going to do a more structured dress in that one. I've got a pattern for a high-waisted empire waisted dress with short sleeves and then a scoop neck, straight skirt. So I'm going to make a dress for this one out of here. I've pre-washed the fabric, as I do with all of my fabrics for dressmaking, just to make sure that if there's any shrinkage, that's going to happen before I start to cut out and make my dresses. There's nothing worse than making something and then it goes in the wash the first time and it's several sizes too small. Then that's really disappointing after all the time and effort. And I've also purchased this cream ribbing fabric, and I'm going to make a long sleeved version of this t-shirt out of that, because the pattern will come in 3/4 or long sleeved, and I thought that this peach would be quite sweet. So hopefully you think that's a good colour on me as well. And with the square neckline, I thought that'd be quite a nice detail. It's quite a stiff fabric, so it should hold its shape really nicely. I might just size up on that one because there's not quite as much give as there is in this jersey fabric. And I think that would be a good idea to do that. But again, I've pre-washed this one, so if there's any shrinkage on that. The good news was that both the crepe de chine and this fabric here were both £2.50 a metre, which is an excellent price over here in the UK. The shop was also in Stapleford in Nottingham, and it's a shop called Sewing Bee, run by the delightful Wayne and Elaine, and they purchase dead stock fabric, which is the roll ends from the garment manufacturing industry, some really large companies, and when they get to the end of a production of a certain, I'm sorry, I'll fold that up later, not while I'm talking to you. when manufacturers have finished their run of a garment for a certain fashion house, then sometimes if they've got the fabrics left over, they'll sell that on. So she has an outlet for that in Stapleford. I'll post a link to her Facebook page as well so that you can find them. And a lot of the fabric, she's got a lot of jerseys, she's got some stretch satin, she's got the crepe de chine, some linen mixes, some polycotton, which I'm not over keen on personally, but obviously I know that it suits a number of purposes, but all of those were £2.50 a metre. This one here was a little more expensive, this one was £8 a metre, but I just love that pattern and the colours on that. So again, I thought that would be quite sweet and quite eye-catching in a dress. So that one was £8 a metre, and I think I bought 2 metres of that, which will be enough for the dress that I've got in mind. So again, a really good find for that shop, and I'm hoping to do a tour of that one day if she'll allow me. I'll ask her permission first and then go along. She also does sewing classes, so again a good resource and encouraging people to have a go at sewing and to start again. I think a lot of us learnt at school. I know I certainly did sewing classes at school, but unfortunately I wasn't able to take it at the higher level and take it at exam level. There just weren't enough students in the class who wanted to do it, and so I think I ended up taking history instead, which I really didn't like. I'd have been much better doing something with my stitching, but that wasn't how it was supposed to be, so I had to pick it up later on as I got older. So yes, she Elaine does the sewing classes. Very nice teacher, very lovely, very experienced. Again, and excellent with that one. So worth a look at that shop as well when I link it for you. And if you're in the Nottingham area of the UK, then that's always worth a visit. She's got some strange opening times. I think it's Wednesday till Saturday, 10 till 3. But sometimes she opens on a Sunday as well, because I think she has sewing classes on a Sunday. So if she's got a class on, she'll open. But she puts all that onto her Facebook page. You can have a look there and see when she's open. Again, another fabric shop that I visited. Again, this is Hall, so this isn't my usual thing. I'm not usually a prolific buyer because I just don't have the resources really to do that. But I did pick up some fat quarters. So these are 100% cotton fat quarters. I'll open one out for you. I'll show these are all. Let me show you all 3 of them, and I'll open one out and show you. So these are quarter meters of fabric. This one's a lovely Lynette Anderson one that I really liked. Lovely purple. And then this one is I think she said it was a Japanese cotton. That's really nice. It's thicker than a lawn, but it's not as heavy as 100% cotton. So that's a really pretty one. And she's displayed them all in these triangular folds, which were really sweet. And you could just go along the line and just pick them up. So a 1/4 metre of fabric. Perfect for a lunar dress, a straightforward lunar dress. They're also great sizes for appliqué as well, for getting a variety of fabrics into your appliqué if you do your appliqué quilting. You can also use them for making little pouches as well. I do some bag making as well, so I've made little pouches as well, and they're really great gifts. I've made face masks as well. I made about 700 face masks through the pandemic that we're currently coming to the other end of, hopefully, and sold those locally at a much reduced price to people when we couldn't get hold of them. And then as you could get hold of the more disposable masks, then I just increased the price slightly, because also I got through quite a lot of fabric, so I needed to replace some of that. But yeah, fat quarters are a great way of buying a variety of fabrics, and most shops are happy to either cut. Just be aware though that if you're not into quilting and the fabric cuts, and I'm hoping to do a post on that at some stage later, that this one's sort of like 1/2 metre that way, but then 1/4 metre that way, so that gives you a nice square shape. But sometimes when you buy online, if you ask for a 1/4 metre, you'll get a long quarter, so it's a 25 centimetres across here, but then it's the whole width of the fabric all the way down. But the shape is very different depending on your project. So this is a very long thin shape, whereas obviously as a long quarter, but a fat quarter is very square. So again, that's just terminology that you might need to get used to and look at if you're new to quilting and you're wanting to have a look through and see what you can buy. So just be aware that there are the 2 different terms for that. But yeah, I enjoy having fat quarters, and I find them really useful as well, just for those, pick them up for the gifts. I think they'll make lovely bibs for a baby, but also as I say, I've made a lot of pouches, makeup pouches and face masks, and they're great for that as well. more books. It was my birthday. One of my other sewing buddies is Lindsay, who lives down in Cornwall. We don't see each other very often, but we chat all the time. It's a couple of hours at a time, I have to say. And she very kindly has purchased this book for me. It's the Royal School of Needlework, and it's the book of embroidery. And I have to say, what a treat. Thank you so much, Lindsay. I absolutely love it. We do buy each other a little bit of something for Christmas. Don't think this constitutes as a little bit of something, not for Christmas, for my birthday. But I absolutely love it. It's fabulous, fabulously detailed with some, if I can show you, some pictures in there of antique works and museum quality pieces. But then also it's got in here some black work, some techniques and some styles and designs. So it kind of gives you an idea, sorry, it doesn't kind of, it definitely gives you an idea of the different types of sewing, and then for each discipline in the of sewing. So like here we've got a whole section on silk shading, which is just absolutely exquisite. It'll tell you the materials you need. There's a bit of an introduction, some examples, and then it goes on to tools and materials, the linens and the fabrics you use, the needles, the flossers. So again, it's a bit like a coffee table book, I think they call them, where you can leave them out and they're just pretty to catch your eye and have a flick through. But yeah, I'm going to have a great time looking through here and seeing the different projects and seeing what takes my fancy. And there's a few disciplines in here that I haven't used before. I mean, gold work's in here as well. I mean, look at that hair. That is just beautiful. Stunning work. And because it gives you some tips on how to get started and the different types of work that you can use and how you can pad your work and then build it up into the different projects. Oops. I think that's a real treat. So as I say, I'm sure you'll be able to find this book online, Amazon perhaps. I think it was delivered by Amazon anyway, so you'll be able to find this online. And as I say, it's by the Royal School of Needlework. But that's a real treat. So if you've got any stitchy friends and it's a birthday coming up, or thinking of Christmas, or even just for a treat for yourself, then absolutely that's a stunning book that I think you'll get. I mean, it's chunky as well and heavy. How I'm going to fly it back to Spain, I don't know at this moment in time, but depends how much fabric I buy. I might need to send a courier, I think, with a parcel. But that's a nice problem to have, isn't it? How to think to get things back. The other thing that I did as well is my son, stepson James, and his fiancée Sarah also treated me to this book as well. Wool, Needle and Thread. Now this is a book on wool appliqué, and this is published by Martingale. There's the ISBN number there if anybody wants that. And this one is by Lisa Bonigan of Primitive Gatherings. She's a quilter, an avid quilter, but she does a lot of wool appliqué. And you know, this has really caught my eye, wool appliqué has. I like texture, and I think that the stitching style on the front there, with a combination of the embroidery, the quilting aspect, because quite a lot of these are made up into quilted wall hangings, perhaps not quilts because there's a lot of work in them for going over a bed, but certainly for quilted art. So I really wanted to have a go at this, and so James and Sarah have treated me to this book, which I'm very grateful for as well. Thank you, James and Sarah. And it's quite funny actually, because it amuses him. I don't know if it's a difference between boys and girls or not, or what have you, but he's very kind to ask me what I would like for my birthday, because they know that I love my stitching and they'd rather get me something that I really enjoy. So I sent him a link to this book and I said, if possible, this is what I would like if possible, but if not, I'll give you some other suggestions. And he chose this book, but he finds it really entertaining. He said, I didn't know whether to wrap it up or not, because you know what it is, so why do I need to wrap it up? But of course, Sarah's fiance, no, we need to wrap it up and pass it on. And I'm so pleased that they did, because although I've ordered the book and I've asked for it, I haven't seen inside it. And so when you receive a book, even if it's one that you've asked for already, you've never seen through it all, you've never seen all of the projects. And this one is all about techniques and ways to do things for the wool appliqué. So lots and lots of very informative step-by-step guides and how to make things and put them together. So I've had a look through a couple of times already, and already can see some projects that I'd really like to do. And they talk about different threads and the different stitches. So I'm really, really enjoying that. But for me, the treat is in actually having the book and looking through it. So although I've asked for it, you know, and there's some nice hydrangea heads, I've just not looked through it. So it's still new to me, even though it's what I've asked for. So I hope that goes some way to explaining to James why I just love the having something that I've asked for and why it's still special. It's not just run-of-the-mill or routine. Again, these are a bit bright for me, but I love the style of those. So again, I'm going to have a good look through that, and that was a bit of a haul for my birthday. There was a companion book with that one as well, which is this one here. It's book 2. It's the same author, Lisa Bonnigan of Primitive Gatherings, and so I just put a card in just to save my place. And this one's more, whilst the first book is more technique, this one is more project orientated. So again, these colours are all what I like. These lovely muted tones, again, just beautiful. And there's the embellishing onto the stitching. And one project in here I think is going to be my first go, and it's called Lovebirds. Look at that cushion. That is just beautiful. So my next few days, if I'm not called upon to be elsewhere, to be supportive with baby, then will be to find a supplier that I can go and have a look at and touch the fabrics for. And over here, and I've seen the pictures and the YouTube videos of the local needle workshops in America, and they're just fabulous, you know, walls and walls of projects and cross stitching and everything. I mean, absolutely make me giddy if I went in there looking at that with they've got a little bit of pocket money to spend, then it would make me absolutely giddy. But yeah, I'm going to try and find a shop locally that will supply this. I think I've got an idea if there's one in Darleydale in Matlock area of Derbyshire called Airs and Graces. Airs is Heirs, and so I'm going to have a look there and see if I can pop up there. I think they've got some of the wool. So I'm going to take my books along with me so they can see exactly what it is that I need, and then we'll talk about the project with them, and hopefully they'll have some. So if I do go up there, I'm hoping again, you know, we might find we get a few shop videos all in one go, but I'm just capturing those whilst I'm in the UK, and hopefully they'll be of interest. So we'll try and do that and see. But yeah, there's Lisa Bonnigan does a lovely wool appliqué quilt, wall art quilt, and it's called Twilight Garden. Oh my goodness, it is just phenomenal, seriously. The detail and the level of work, and part of me wants to jump straight in and have a go at doing something like that, but I think might even be double bed size. It's huge. So I'm thinking that probably my cushion is a better place to start, and have a go with that really in first. And my mind's just gone, because I hesitate then because my mind's just gone as well. I've got a book on order as well that I've treated myself to, which is from Sue Spargo. She does some beautiful wool embroidery as well, and she does a project called Sand Dollars. I don't know if you've seen it. It's circles of felt, and then they're really heavily embellished with embroidery stitches. So again, I want to have a real go at that. So I've ordered her book. Again, whilst I'm in the UK, just getting all these books. You can see there's a bit of a theme going on. I do love my books, and then I'll have a go at those. So hopefully in future videos you'll be able to see some of those things. So I hope that's given you a flavour for who I am, for what I enjoy. Hopefully my passion for sewing comes through, and I try to include it in all parts of my life, through my clothes and through the items in my home, and also in the gifts that I give to people. And if you're a stitcher too, welcome. You know, we're a unique breed. We just love making and giving, and it just fills my heart with such joy. So pleased that there's the Flosstube outlet for me to chat to. As I say, not many people at home sometimes roll their eyes at me when I'm on about talking about stitching, or I'm in another dress that I've made myself. But I'm hopeful that I'm among kindred spirits with all of you, and that you also enjoy your stitching and look to share your projects. If anybody else is on Flosstube, please link down below and let me know so that I can have a look and follow you. And yeah, have a great day everybody. Life's for living. There's lots for us to get out and do, and also, you know, lots for us to make and create. So So please do enjoy your stitching, and I look forward to meeting all of you over the Flosstube videos. And if my video isn't for you, then thank you for watching to this point, but you know, that's fine. And hopefully some of you will enjoy what I've had to say and what I'm working on, and we can become friends as time goes on. So thank you for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.